can see why the song says it's almost heaven. West Virginia has some pretty divine scenery. And in the tiny town of Louisburg, deep in the Allegheny Mountains, it has some pretty heavenly cooking too. The town's main drag is a stretch of US Route 60, known around here as Washington Street, Louisburg, West Virginia. Come on, let's eat the street. Louisburg, West Virginia goes back to around the time of the American Revolution, when settlers first came to the Greenbrier Valley. Louisburg has a lot of culture for a town less than 4,000. In fact, a national poll named Louisburg the coolest small town in the whole country. The local restaurant scene had a lot to do with that. Historic, civilized, genteel even. Louisburg, West Virginia fits that description. And so does this old Victorian home right off of Washington Street. But inside Stella's Tea House, along with plenty of dignified cooking, Chef Samantha Hall makes one recipe that's just pure old-fashioned decadence. Sounds like my cup of tea. The building itself has a unique look. Tell me a little bit about the place.
It's an 1800s remodeled old house. We have a lovely outdoor garden, as you saw when you came in.
I did see that. I actually stole a few tomatoes.
Well, that's okay.
So tell me a little bit about the recipe that we're gonna make today.
The recipe today is sticky toffee pudding,
Oof.
caramel sauce on it, and some ice cream. That's kind of like our signature dessert. If somebody comes in, they don't know what they want to have for dessert, we recommend this one.
Very cool. So what do we do to get started?
First, Chuck, we got to make the batter. Butter and the sugar.
Cream it up.
Yep.
Stella's is a tea house. You guys do food as well.
We decided that we wanted to do something a little bit bigger, so we picked up dinners. And we offer a pretty large variety of food. We have seafood, some steaks. We have desserts, obviously. And the menu changes seasonally. And what we don't grow in the backyard, we're trying to source locally as possible. Cool. Chuck, we're ready to add our eggs, add our dry ingredients to
Beautiful.
that. Cinnamon, ginger, and the flour goes in. And I think we're ready to add our date mixture.
So tell me about the date mixture.
So we start out with a quart of water, 20 ounces of dates, and fresh ginger, and we're gonna bring that up to a boil, add our baking powder, and then it's ready to mix in.
That looks delicious.
Oh, and smell the ginger, man. I mean, that smells amazing, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
Let's do it. Ooh.
Wardrobe.
So next, Chuck, we're gonna go to the pan.
Typically, this would be mine.
Go for it.
Oh, look at that. You know what? We don't even need to cook it. Definitely taste the ginger. That is delicious.
Now we're going to the oven. We're gonna put this in a water bath.
Okay.
And we're gonna bake it 350 for about 45 minutes.
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, Chuck. So we did the water bath, which was my shallow pan, and then I just add a little bit of water in there. Without the water bath, it's all dry. Next, we're gonna make the whipped cream, Chuck.
Little whipped cream.
All right, we're gonna add a little heavy cream in there, or a lot, you know. Some powdered sugar, splash vanilla. Watch your shirt, Chuck. You wanna hold it back so we can do the whipped cream there?
I thought you'd never ask.
You know.
Where do we go next?
Next, we're ready to plate the sticky toffee. Sprinkle just a little bit of sugar, and it helps it to not stick to my parchment paper that I have there. Sticky toffee. You've got to have the vanilla ice cream. Fresh caramel sauce right on that.
And this is pretty much impossible to improve on. Cream, brown sugar, butter, a shot of vanilla, reduce and caramelize, perfection.
We're gonna top that off.
A little whipped cream.
Yeah. You don't look like a flour man, but maybe a mint man.
What a beaut.
We're ready to eat it, Chuck.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
A little bit of everything.
What do you think, Chuck?
I think it's fantastic. Very sticky, very toffee-y. Love the crunchy bits on the edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a welcome little crunch. Really doubled up on the ginger, and you can taste it, and it tastes great. Caramel sauce, probably my favorite thing on earth.
Obviously.
It really all comes together when you put a little bit of everything on it.
And a little bit of love, too, Chuck.
You might have put too much, though.
You can never give enough love.
Really?
No, no.
We're gonna crush this whole thing, or
Go
what?
ahead and crush it.
Follow US 60 east out of Lewisburg, West Virginia, 8 winding miles, and you'll find yourself at one of America's oldest resorts. The Greenbrier grew up around the sulfur spring that was thought to be good for all kinds of ailments. But I'm not here for the waters. I'm here for the food. The Greenbrier has been a famous dining destination for generations. Executive Chef Brian Skelding is the man in charge of keeping this grand old spot on top for a new generation. He's not just a hot shot in the kitchen. He's literally a hot shot, which is why Brian has invited me to join him on the Greenbrier shotgun range. Hey, no pressure. Let's meet him.
Paul.
Brian.
Hey.
What's up, man?
How you doing? Good to see you, Chuck.
I just saw you shoot. I'll stay polite.
All right, very good.
So, what's the deal, man? What are we doing out here?
So you come to West Virginia, might want to show you around a little bit and shoot a couple shotguns.
I love it, man. So this is part of the resort?
It is, yeah. One of many things to do here at the Greenbrier. We got off-road driving, we got 3 golf courses. There's tons of outdoor activities to do here.
Shooting guns, better than playing golf.
Let's shoot some guns.
All right, man. Let's do this. Do some damage here.
Now we're gonna shoot the high bird on the left
Gonna
side
come
first.
like that?
Yeah.
Pull.
Now we're gonna shoot the low house over here on the right.
Pull.
There we go. Good shot.
Whoa. Very good. Is that supposed to happen?
Yes, that'll happen.
So
How
this
was
is
that?
what it feels like to be American.
Pull. I think that's 2 to 1, Chuck.
All right, I need to smarten up here. You want to play hockey? I got you. Pull.
There you go.
You know what, Brian? I think we need to stick to cooking. Coming up, what every cook needs, a nice little kitchen.
We can feed sometimes up to 1,300 people a day, and that's with a staff of almost 200 cooks.
At West Virginia's Greenbrier Resort, the fun and games are over and it's time to look sharp. In the kitchen at this grand hotel, if you're gonna cook, you're gonna rock the look. Brian, it was a lot of fun skeet shooting, but this is really why I'm here at the Greenbrier, the food. How many people a day do you serve?
We can feed sometimes up to 1,300 people a day. I've seen as many as 1,700 people on property at one point, and that's with a staff of almost 200 cooks. So 10,000 acres, it's a huge, huge property.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
How long has the Greenbrier been here?
Greenbrier's been here for 236 years. In fact, even Chef Boyardee cooked here back in 1915. He helped cater Woodrow Wilson's second wedding here.
I mean, I think this is probably one of the most unique places I've been to in a long time, man. And I hope I will
You look great.
do the Chef Whites proud.
You
So,
look great.
So what are we gonna make today?
We're making a pan-roasted veal chop with some cheddar grits, cheddar from Wisconsin, with some roasted cauliflower and some broccoli.
Beautiful, let's do it.
We're gonna start with some canola oil. We're just gonna season this veal chop, kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper, and we just wanna get a little color on it to start.
Pretty thick veal chop as well. I mean, this is...
That's a 14-ounce veal chop. I'm gonna go ahead and get some whole butter in here so we can start our basting. Some shallots, a little garlic in there, some fresh thyme.
And that's the thing with the veal chop. Because there isn't that much fat in there, it's good to add a good amount of fat content like butter and whatnot.
Right, fat is flavor.
You heard it here first. Veal chop in the oven.
We cook it right about 350 degrees, about 10, 12 minutes.
Tell me about the jus and how you make it.
It starts with stocks. So we already have really good stocks.
Buy low, sell high.
Buy low, no. We're talking about veal bones.
Oh,
Chuck.
veal bones.
Yeah,
Okay,
veal
sorry,
bones.
sorry.
So we want to start with clarified butter. We save any piece of fat, any piece of sinew from the veal racks and really get some good browning on those trimmings. Some shallots. Start doing our layers. Put a little bit of red wine. Caramelizing those pieces of veal and caramelizing the liquid in the pan as well. Our aromats, black peppercorns and fresh thyme, mushrooms. Start doing layers of stocks. Keep bringing those sauces down. We'll really develop those layers of flavor. A little bit of sherry vinegar. And then I go ahead and finish it with butter.
As much as I like to be a rebel in the kitchen sometimes, there are things like stocks and the way to cook a perfect veal chop that you really can't cheat. So Chef, tell me about the cheddar grits.
We take some stock, some cream, a ratio of 3 to 1. We have some shallots, some garlic minced, and then we bring the liquid up to a boil. We have the grits. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of our 7-year cheddar. We really just whisk it in. Me being from Wisconsin, I like to, bring a few things down with me. I find when cheddar, once you hit that 5-year mark, you get like those crystals from like Parmesan. It melts really well. It's tasty. It gives that bite.
Fantastic. So what do you think, Chef?
I think it's done. Should we check it out?
Smells ready.
Very good. We just want to let it rest for just a few minutes.
So tell me a little bit about the cauliflower.
We just take a little bit of olive oil. We throw our florets in there, season a little bit of salt, a little bit of white pepper, butter, fresh thyme.
This is a floret.
It is.
You're using all these fancy culinary terms. We need to keep everybody in check here. Grits are done, cauliflower is done, and I see we have some broccolini over there.
We do. We really just like to blanch it quickly in salted water. It's a hybrid. It's a deeper broccoli flavor to it.
Every element is kind of ready. Should we plate this up?
Yeah, let's plate it up.
Let's do it.
The grits, the pan-roasted veal chop, roasted cauliflower, broccolini, 7-year cheddar. Finish it with the veal jus.
Oh, look at that.
There we have it, pan-roasted veal chop with 7-year cheddar grits.
Wow, very cool. Let's dig in.
Dig in.
Yeah, I'm not going for the broccoli. Oh, look at that. You know what? Fantastic. The veal chop, the way it's done is something super classic, but then you throw in, the grits, which is down home. It's kind of elevated at the same time, and I love the fact that you add cheddar from your hometown. So good. Almost tastes like blue cheese. That jus that's nice and thick and just the perfect consistency, and it's all natural. There's so much respect for tradition, and it really just comes together. I mean, cheddar and broccoli,
It's classic, right?
so good. Chef, you're the man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming, appreciate it.
Who am I kidding? Coming up, this is not a bakery, this is the bakery.
Okay, you after my job?
No, you wake up every morning at 3:30. You can keep
Yes,
it.
okay.
You wouldn't think Lewisburg, West Virginia can impress a diehard bagel fan. Or me, a guy from the bagel capital, Montreal. But seriously, West Virginia bagels? Well, I'm told that Sandy Carter and his bakery at the corner of Washington and Court Street just may have the best bagel this side of the Hudson, or the St. Lawrence River. I gotta try this. So we're here at the corner of Washington and Court Street. Tell me a little bit about Lewisburg in general, the food scene, and what it's like to live and work here.
Lewisburg was voted the coolest small town in America, 2011.
I did see that.
It has brought a lot of visitors. We've become quite a little food mecca for such a small town
So how long have you guys been here at the bakery?
since 2003.
Wow. Typically when you think bagels, most people think New York. I don't. I'm from Montreal. We always fight with New Yorkers to see who has the best bagels, and now we can actually throw Lewisburg into the mix, which is great. Now you guys can be part of the debate.
It is now.
All right, Sandy, so what kind of bagel are we making today?
We will be making jalapeno bagels.
How do we get started?
First, we get our flour, put it in
do
a
it.
mixer,
So flour, yeast,
sugar, salt,
start it up. So dry ingredients first.
and I add the water a little bit slowly and just watch the dough.
So what time do you wake up every morning?
3:30,
What time are you here?
5 o'clock or earlier, depending on orders.
Not easy baking.
That looks pretty good. It even feels pretty good. And then we take this out, put it on the table. Now we add the jalapenos.
Beautiful.
Fold this in, and then put it back in the mixer.
So really here we're just kind of making sure that jalapenos mix right in there.
Yes. Now, we cut our bagel portions into 4.5 ounce pieces. Now the next thing I do is flour the pan. We're ready to start rolling.
Love it.
Have you ever rolled bagels before?
No, but I'm looking forward to it.
Everybody has a slightly different technique. Well, yeah. We'll put it on the tray anyway.
All right.
The key, roll it a little bit, and as
You know-
you watch, I start with one hand and then come out to two, making it even in thickness. Wrap it around your hand with a good overlap and roll it a little, much better, much better.
There you go.
Oh, we're off to the... Okay, you after my job?
No, you wake up every morning at 3:30. You can keep
Yes,
it.
okay.
And now,
It's time to boil them.
how long do we leave them there?
A few minutes until we see the water start to boil. And then I take them out and put them on wax paper. We'll sprinkle garlic on them, Parmesan cheese.
Yes, sir.
And we are ready to go in the oven. And just slide it right down into the middle.
So how long do we keep them in there?
Generally about 8 to 10 minutes.
Tell me a little bit about this oven. I mean, seems like it's a big part of the bakery here.
The oven is a gas-fired oven, 6 jets. Full batch of bagels, we will heat the oven up to 660 degrees.
How many can you fit in there?
5 trays, 100 bagels.
Wow. What do you think? Should we check them?
I think they might be ready.
They're looking good, man.
Look good to me. Just separate them, pull them up off the paper,
There's only but one thing left to do here.
sample a jalapeno bagel.
Oh, absolutely perfect. This is absolutely phenomenal. Exactly what I love about a bagel. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. The jalapeno gives it a little bit of kick, obviously. Great flavor, the garlic, the cheese, it is fantastic. You know, I was a little bit skeptical, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, where I'm from, poppy seed or sesame seed. That's it. They don't mess around with flavors.
They're missing out on the jalapeno.
You know what? You are. You really are. Think I could take a couple with me and try and convert the people back home?
Certainly. Yes,
Beautiful.
I've conquered New York.
Why not Montreal?
Montreal is next.
Let's do it. Coming up, it's not the West Virginia state bird, but I think it should be. There's something very classic about this dish.
Yeah.
Quail, figs,
Can be a winter dish or a summer dish, really.
it's good.
It's good.
They call West Virginia the mountain state, and the Allegheny Mountains are the center of the Appalachian Range. That's the inspiration behind the food at Lewisburg's Livery Tavern. Chef Michael Noodlings draws from the region's traditional fish, game, and produce to create something he calls New Appalachian Cuisine. It's beautiful country. Let's see how it tastes. You've been all over the world?
I was born and raised in Central Africa and went to school in Europe. Wanted to travel and, make great food.
How did you get here in Lewisburg?
I was traveling. I was working in Virginia at the time, and I drove by Lewisburg, kind of fell in love with the town.
Tell me a little bit about the food and what you guys do here at the Livery.
Livery is about the old dishes with new twists. We do an Appalachian style of cuisine. It's earthy, a lot of local products, vegetables, and some local meats.
When you walk in, there's a feel almost like a hunting club, rustic, but at the same time, really comforting, and you feel like you're in somebody's house. So tell me a little bit about the dish we're gonna make today.
Today we're gonna make a stuffed quail with wild rice and apples and a fig puree.
Beautiful.
To get started, we're gonna make the stuffing. Consists of diced celery, yellow onions, and Granny Smith apples.
Beautiful.
Now what we do, we put a little bit of olive oil in a hot skillet. Fresh ground black pepper, kosher salt, pinch of parsley, pinch of fresh thyme, and we're ready to go on the stove. Let it saute a little bit until like al dente, not overcooked.
Yeah, because we are gonna stuff the quail and cook it again, right?
Cook it again, exactly. Add a little bit of vanilla, wild rice. Right now we let it cool. The quail is semi-boneless.
So basically you keep it whole, but you take all the rib cage, the legs and the wings, you keep the bones, so it kind of has a little bit of a structure.
Yeah. Kosher salt, black pepper, fresh thyme on the inside. Keep the cavity a little flavorful. We can add a little bit of salt.
Beautiful.
The parsley if you wish. Now we stuff the quail. Put as much as you can. A little bit of olive oil in the oven, the 350 for about 11 minutes.
What's next?
Now we're gonna make the fig puree. We use fresh locally grown figs, marinated in good quality port overnight with a little bit of rosemary. The next day we poach them in the liquid until tender, blend it in a blender till smooth, and set aside for further use.
Quail, port, figs, even the wild rice and the apple stuffing. I mean, this all really kind of comes together.
Yeah, it can be a winter dish or a summer dish, really.
It's good.
It's good. Now we're taking it out of the oven.
Beautiful, look at that.
Garnish this with a little hash salad.
What's in the house dressing?
Olive oil, honey mustard, poppy seeds. They serve with a local medley of greens. And now we cut the quail in half, garnish with fig puree, and finish with rosemary.
Beautiful.
Dig in, maybe hot.
A little bit of that fig puree. This is it right here. It's sweet and the fig puree. It's something that, I love about figs, that little pop. It's a fig puree, but there's still texture there. When we're making the stuffing, you mentioned we're not gonna cook this too much. I think when you go a little too far, It's almost like baby food.
Right.
And it's really, there's no fun in that. This is beautiful. I can see how this is becoming a classic here at the Livery.